Holy Sri Gajanan Swami ki jai. Devotees, welcome to this morning service. Blessings and welcome to all our devotees online, whatever platform. Nice to have you joining together with us. We begin, as we normally do, with our opening prayer. Vivek, take flowers. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Bhagavan He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, हमें दया करो गुरुर ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्र मूर्ति सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार वरनौ रघुबर बिमल यश जोदायक फलचार बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम हे नाथ मम संकट हरु हरि। बोली श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय। भाई जाइए ऑफर दी फ्लावर्स है। Take flowers again. Devotees, Chaupais followed by Bhara Akshar Mantra, our normal journey. प्रवेश नगर कीजे सब काजा हृदय राखी कौशलपुर राजा रथ चढ़ि सिया सहित तू भाई चले बनहिया वधही शीर नाई जहाँ के सुमिरन तेरी तू नाशा नाम शत्रुहन वेद प्रकाश विश्व भरण पोषण कर जो जब तेरा राम राम जब तेरा मध्य घर आई नित्य नव मंगल मूल बधाई सखा धर्म में यह शरत जाकी जीत न कह न कहूँ रिपु ताकी जय राम श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम 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 जय जय सीता राम जय जय राम वह शोभाजु समझ सुख कहत न बने खगेश वर्ण शारद शेष श्रुति सोरस जानम हेश सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम बंदो पवन कुमार खलबन पावक ज्ञान घना जहाँ सुहृदय आगर बस ही राम शर चाप धर ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम 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 नमो भगवते भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो 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 भगवते वासुदेवाय। बोले श्री वासुदेव भगवान की जय। Puja will be performed. While it's being done, devotees, be concentrated on Gajanan. Followed by Devi. Bear in mind that Gajanan is manifest Brahm, Sagun Brahm. We are born into a world of forms, names, conditions. And to satisfy our needs, that Lord, in the infinite mercy, compassion, from that state of nirgun, qualityless, He assumes a form with quality so we can identify. Otherwise, we'll be lost. So, Mahaganapati, he is nirgun, Brahm. Ganapati, Sagun Brahm. That same infinite, but this wonderful form with which we can identify. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Mata Jaki Parvati, Pita Mahadeva. माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेव लदवन के भोग लगे संत करे सेवा जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देव माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेव एक दंत दयावंत चारि भुजाधारी माथे सिंदूर सोहे मूषक की सवारी जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देव माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेव अंधन को आंख देता, कोढ़िन को काया, बाजन को पुत्र देता, निर्धन को माया। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देव, माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेव। हार चढ़े फूल चढ़े और चढ़े मेवा, सूरदास शरण आयो सुफल करो सेवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देव, माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेव। ओ माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेव। माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेव। बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय। Devotees, we have seen the picture of the Shiv Parivar, Lord Shiva, Parvati Ma, Gajanan Swami and Swami Kartikeya. As we have been saying time and again, Hinduism is very symbolic. We go to different levels. There are different levels of understanding. So basically, we see the Lord as Lord Shiva, Ganesh Baba, Devi, Swami Kartikeya. Philosophically speaking, the Shiv Parivar symbolize, it represents 4 qualifications that are necessary for liberation according to Vedanta. Vivek, discriminative power, symbolized by Gajanan, Gyan. Mumukshutva, that intense longing to be in oneness with our true nature, the divine, symbolized by Parvati Ma. Vairagya, dispassion, symbolized by Bholinath, Bhagwan Shankar. And Swami Kartikeya, the 6-headed Lord as we see, symbolically represents what we call Shat Sampat. This morning we shall briefly listen to a little bit about Swami Kartikeya. But the journey continues as we glorify Ma. So remember, when I worship, the bhav is there, but remember, everything we do, there is a deeper meaning. We must bear in mind that the mysteries of the world can be unraveled in 3 ways. There is the experimental outlook, or what might call the superficial, the stories. There is a cosmological outlook, the principles that can be derived out of these stories. And there is a metaphysical application to oneself. Everything is inside. Yatha pinde, tatha brahmahande. We concentrate on Mata. Don't forget Mata is inside, dormant, in the form of Kundalini. Jai Jag Janani, Jai Shankari, Jaya Bhuvaneshwari, Gaj Gauri, Jai Shubhakarani, Jai Vardayini, जय शुभरमणि त्रिशूल पानी, जय जग जननी जय हे शंकरी, जय जग जननी जय हे शंकरी, जय भुवनेश्वरी गज गौरी, जय भुवनेश्वरी गज गौरी, जय शुभकरणी जय वरदायिनी, जय शुभकरणी जय वरदायिनी, जय शुभरमणि त्रिशूल पानी, जय शुभरमणि त्रिशूल पानी, जय जग जननी जय हे शंकरी, जय भुवनेश्वरी गज गौरी, जय भुवनेश्वरी गज गौरी, जय शुभकरणी जय वरदायिनी, जय शुभकरणी जय वरदायिनी, हे जय वरदायिनी, महा जय वरदायिनी, हे जय वरदायिनी, जय शुभकरणी जय शुभकरणी जय वरदायिनी, जय शुभरमणि त्रिशूल पानी, जय शुभरमणि जय शुभरमणि जय शुभरमणि त्रिशूल पानी, जय जग जननी जय शंकरी। बोले सियार शक्ति जगदम्बा माता की जय। हवन. We join together devotees Gayatri mantra. We offer ghee to the fire. Harihi Om Tat Sat, Harihi Om Tat Sat, Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Swaha. ओम प्रजापति स्वाहा इदम प्रजापति इदम नमः। ओम इंद्राय स्वाहा इदम इंद्राय इदम नमः। ओम अग्नये स्वाहा इदम अग्नि इदम नमः। ओम सोमाय स्वाहा इदम सोमाय इदम नमः। ओम भू स्वाहा इदम अग्नि इदम नमः। ओम भुव स्वाहा इदम वायवे इदम नमः। ओम स्वः स्वाहा इदम सूर्याय इदम नमः। ओम गंगनपतये नमः स्वाहा। ओम गंगनपतये नमः स्वाहा। ओम ह्रीं श्रीं चंडिकायै नमः स्वाहा। ओम ह्रीं श्रीं चंडिकायै नमः स्वाहा। ओम क्रीं कालियै नमः स्वाहा। ओम क्रीं कालियै नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री महालक्ष्मी माताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री महालक्ष्मी माताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्रीं ह्रीं सरस्वत्यै स्वाहा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा। ओम नमो भगवते नारायणाय स्वाहा। ओम नमो भगवते नारायणाय स्वाहा। ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा। ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री सूर्याय नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री अगिंदेवाय स्वाहा। इष्टदेवाय स्वाहा। कुलदेवाय स्वाहा। अष्टांदेवाय स्वाहा। ग्रामदेवाय स्वाहा। वास्तुदेवाय स्वाहा। सर्वदेवता सर्वदेवी भ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। मृत्युंजय मंत्र जाप, गेट योर बिलीफ। बोलिए श्री उमापति महादेव की। Om Hraum, Om Jum, Om Saha. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Go ahead. Om Hraum. Om Swaha. Om Bhuva. Om Bhur. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Namah Shivaya Swaha. Take name leaf. Pick up all. Pick up all. Yeah. Offer some on the eastern side of the fire. Om Namaschandikaya Swaha. I be going clockwise. Om Krim Kaliyai Namaswaha. लक्ष्मी माताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा. Om Shrim Hrim Saraswatyai Swaha. Alright, offer mixture of the Google sugar, black tea, mix up everything, sprinkle around. Om Sarva Devta Sarva Devi Bhyo Namo Namah Swaha. Alright. Do Achman 3 times, water around the fire 3 times. Om Sarva Papaharan Dibyam Gangeyang Nirmalam Jalam Achmanang Chamaya Dattam Grahitam Purushottamaha. Om Brahmagnai Namaha. Take a flower and fan the fire towards the murtis 5 times. Om Banaspati Rasud Bhuto Gandhadhi Gandhi Uttama Agreyang Sarvadevanang Dhupoyam Pratigritam. Put on the leaf right there by the fire. The leaf on top. Alright. Both hands on the flame. Pass it over your head 5 times, both of you. Om Brahmagnai Namaha. Pass it over your head, yeah? 5 times. Yeah. We take a flower, we concentrate on Lakshmi Ma. Om Namostestu Mahamayasi Pithe Surpujite Shankha Chakra Gadahaste Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Lakshmi Karotu Kalyanam Arogyam Sukha Sampadam Mama Shatru Vinashaya Depa Jyotir Namostute. Siddheshwari Mahalakshmi Mata Namo Namaha. Bole Sri Mahalakshmi Mata Ki Jai. Offer it on top by Ridiya. Bow to the frame. Devotees, we concentrate on Bhagavan Shankar for a few minutes. I want you to visualize Bholinath. You know, we are accustomed to mantra Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva. That Lord is everything. Pitu Matu Sakha, Swami, Sahayak, He is everything. Pitu Matu Sahayak Swami Sakha Tum hi ek nath hamare ho Tum hi ek nath hamare ho Pitu Matu Sahayak Swami Sakha तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो जिनके कछु और आधार नहीं जिनके तुम ही रखवारे हो कि तुम तु सहायक स्वामी सखा तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो सब भांति सदा सुखदायक हो दुख दूर गुण नाशन हरे हो सब भांति सदा सुखदायक हो दुख दूर गुण नाशन हरे हो प्रतिपाल करो सगरे जग को अतिशय करुणा उरधारे हो पितु मातु सहायक स्वामी सखा तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे शुभ शांति निकेतन प्रेम निधे मन मंदिर के उजियारे हो। एक जीवन में तुम जीवन हो, इन प्राणन के तुम प्यारे हो, इन प्राणन के तुम प्यारे हो। तुम तो प्रभु पाय प्रताप हरि, कही के अब और सहारे हो। ते तुम तु सहायक स्वामी सखा, तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो। ते तुम तु सहायक स्वामी सखा, तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो। तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो, तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो। हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर, हर बम 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 बोलो। भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर, धिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर, हर बम 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 बोलो। हे भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर, धिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर, हर बम 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 बोलो। हे हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर, हर बम बम बोलो। हर बम बम बोलो। भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर, धिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। हे भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर, धिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर, हर बम बम बोलो। हे भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर, धिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। हे भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर, धिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। हे हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर, हर बम बम बोलो। हे हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर, हर बम बम बोलो। हे हर बम बम बोलो। हर बम बम बोलो। हर बम बम बोलो। हर बम Hara Shiva Shankara Shashankha Shekhar Hara Bam 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 Bolo. Bhava Bhayankar Girija Shankar Dimi 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 Tak Naratan Khelo. Bhava Bhayankar Girija Shankar Dimi 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 Tak Naratan Khelo. Hara Shiva Shankara Shashankha Shekhar Hara Bam 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 Bolo. Bhava Bhayankara Girija Shankar Dimi 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 Tak Naratan Khelo. Bhava Bhayankar Girija Shankar O Dimi 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 Tak Naratan Khelo. Dimi 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 Tak Naratan Khelo. Shri Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai. Devotees, so Sati created Yog Agni, fire of Yog, and she burnt herself. And remember, I mentioned that there were no ashes to say she burned herself to ashes. She gave up the ghost, as we say. And Lord Shiva destroyed that yajna of Daksh. He was beheaded. He was given a goat head. In brief, I explained all those things the last service we had. And I also mentioned that Bhagwan Shankar took that body, as the story goes, and going through different parts of Bharat Desh, Vishnu Bhagwan used his chakra and was cutting the body, and different places, part of the body dropped, and we refer to those as Shakti Peeth, 108 energy centers in India. And as I've explained, Yatha Pindi Tatha Brahmande, I believe I ended by asking you how many energy centers we have within the body, what we call chakras. And Shaivism says that there are 114 worlds. Now, of course, that can't be 114 worlds because the creation is infinite. But when they refer to 114 worlds, 114 energy centers within the body, well, actually, for each person, 2 outside of the body, 4 we don't use, that is 6, and so we are left with 108. 108 energy centers. This is one of the reasons why we do jap 108 times, etc. Bhagwan Shankar was left alone on Kailash Parvat, and those of us who follow Ramayana will remember Bhagwan Shankar couldn't stay on Kailash Parvat. He was restless without Sati, and so he left and he traveled in a northern direction, trying to find something to attract his mind. As we have been saying, there are 5 mental planes: Chiptam, Muram, Vikchiptam, Ekagram, Niruddham, symbolized by 5 faces of Hanumanji. So there's your raving mind, there's your forgetful mind, oscillating mind, one-pointed and restrained, to put it simple. When something happens, the mind waves, jumps in all different directions. Sometimes we go into depression. We try to analyze and try to find a reason for whatever, the mind oscillates. But once I'm in these 3 planes, any one of these 3 mental planes, there is no peace of mind. The mind is unsteady. So Bhagwan Shankar traveled in the northern direction to try to find something to put his mind on. Because devotees, we perceive this world through the mind. The state of the mind determines how we see things. Everything is a mind creation. This is why it's so essential to bring the mind under control. The mind controls the senses. The senses happen to be the seat of desire. So the whole thing interrelated. If there is no mind or control, then there is indiscipline. And of course, it goes without saying that the intellect controls the mind. So in this context, Sati, I mentioned, represented the unenlightened intellect. So Shiva himself was now disturbed, as we say, trying to find something to put his mind on, and he came to that wonderful blue mountain, Nilgir Parbat, where he found Kaghbhushan. And I won't go into that katha, maybe some other time we can deal with that. But when Bhagavan Shankar was traveling, he saw many beautiful sights, beauties of nature. But every one he saw caused him pain. Because as we all know, when that near and dear one or near and dear ones are not with us, nothing has any beauty. As a matter of fact, some people claim a thing of beauty is a joy forever. But when the beloved ones are not with us, that thing of beauty becomes a pain forever. So all these beautiful sights caused pain to Bhagavan Shankar's mind, as we say. He was drowning in the ocean of separation from his beloved consort Sati. Now this just goes to show us what happens to us as we go through the processes of the world, the journey of the world process, all of us. Until he came to Nilgir Parbat, and there he found Kaghbhushan, and he listened to Ramayana Katha, according to what Ramayana said. But when he saw that mountain, his mind was attracted. So gradually he began to drop his mind off that loss of Parvati, and getting closer and closer, and climbing on this mountain itself, listening to the Katha of Sri Ram, he actually forgot all his problems. Nirudhaman, he withdrew that mind from all external influences. His mind was fixed on Sri Ram, as we say. Bhagavan Shankar returned to Kailas Parvat. He could now, the same place that was biting him before, he was now able, because of the power of the spirituality, as we say, this is for us, he was able to face up to whatever circumstances. And there, on Kailas Parvat, it is said, he decided that, okay, life has to go on. And after some time, he went to a very special spot, and Bhagavan Shankar went into meditation, deep meditation, dhyan, samadhi, for a long, long time. Now devotees, the devatas were left on their own, as we say. There was a demon, an asur, really. Now, a demon is a little bit different from an asur. An asur is a very materialistic person. I have explained this before. So amongst us, when we are very, very materialistic, that is asuric swabhav. Asuric swabhav. We are not demons, but asur. Demon is a little bit worse. So the devatas, devotees, going about your business, but this asur, Tarakasur, his name was Tarak. And so we add asur to the end, so he becomes Tarakasur. Tarakasur decided to perform tapasya. The asuras, they know, no gain without pain. To achieve anything in life, you have to struggle for it, work for it. And the easiest pathway is seeking the divine. Through that divine, when the divine is pleased, anything can come our way. So he focused upon the Brahma aspect of divinity, Brahma, and he prayed most intensely. And when these demons want to perform tapasya, they really do it well. They put aside everything else. The mind is focused on divinity. There's an objective. So they focus on that. And remember, obstacles are what we see when we take our eyes off our goals. These asuras, they kept that focus. I want to please Brahma. I want a Bardhan. I'm going to worship him. And so for quite a long time, he performed intense austerities to please this aspect of divinity, Brahma, who appeared and said, "Oh, Tarak, ask, what do you want? Ask a boon." And what he wanted, he said, "Oh Lord, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. So he wants to live forever. Now, it's strange that those who don't mind killing, they want to live forever. He prayed intensely. He asked for the Bardhan. Brahma said, "Oh Tarak, what you're asking for is kind of impossible, you know. Everybody has to die. Everybody. At some point in time, even I lose this form. Everything goes back into that one Supreme. Oh Tarak, bear that in mind. Everybody has to go one day." Now, devotee, there are a lot of lessons in this simple statement. That everybody, all of us, ek din hame bhi jana hai. We all have to go. And once we realize that, then the attitude should be different than devotees' attitude. But Brahmaji is saying, and we add some other lessons to this nice bhajan that the sages have composed for us to remind us. एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, जग चला जाता है सारा, जग चला जाता है सारा, इसका कौन ठिकाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, जग चला जाता है सारा, जग चला जाता है सारा, इसका कौन ठिकाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है। खूब मौज कर देख तमाशे, खूब मौज कर देख तमाशे, खेलने को खेला, करनी है सो कर ले बंदे, करनी है सो कर ले बंदे, तेरा नहीं आना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, जग चला जाता है सारा, जग चला जाता है सारा, इसका कौन ठिकाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है। कौरी कौरी करके जोरे, कौरी कौरी करके जोरे, बड़ा खजाना है, संग न जाए जबंदीरे, संग न जाए जबंदीरे, फिर पछताना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, जग चला जाता है सारा, जग चला जाता है सारा, इसका कौन ठिकाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है। We all have to go one day, O Tarak. But people don't realize that when the time comes to go, who could hold you back? Kaun thikana hai. But not realizing this, people live how? It's important to observe. Khub maut kar dekh tamashe. Look at the kind of drama that takes place in life. Everything is a drama. Khub maut kar dekh tamashe. Khel aneko khel. Everything is a game. Everything is a game. Superficial, hidden agenda. Kill and equal kill. What happens? Oh Tarak, don't waste time. Do the right things in life now. करनी है सो कर ले बंदे जो कल करना सो आज कर ले जो आज करना सो अब कर ले tomorrow never comes procrastination is a thief of time now good things in life do them now otherwise well you have to remember that when you leave you don't pass back this way ever this moment will never come back फिर नहीं आना है oh Tarak if you look at society what people do Kauri kauri karke jure. Rake and scrape, Barak khazana hai. Great wealth. And no matter how much some have, they still want more. There is no limit. Greed. Barak khazana hai. Sanga na jaye ja banderi. When the time comes to go, much to our horror and disappointment and regret, we can carry nothing with us. Absolutely nothing. Even the body is disposed of. So Tarak, saying that you don't want to die, no, that is not practical. Everybody has to go. Ek din hame bhi jana hai. So therefore, that bardan that you're asking for, I can't grant that to you, O Tarak. But these asuras devotees, they have very fertile brains. So he said, okay, Brahmaji, if you don't want to grant me that boon, of deathlessness. Okay, I want to ask you, if I have to die at all, as you say, I have to die, I want to die at the hands of a son of Lord Shiva. Now, Lord Shiva was in meditation. He had no consort. So Tarak, in his own thinking, Lord Shiva doesn't have anybody. He has no children. If he has no children, then I will never die. So smart. So he thought to himself. And many of us play that kind of game. That in itself is a game. That in itself is a game. Bhagwan, Brahma said, Asha, Tarak, if this is what you want, so shall it be. If you have to die at all, and you have to die one day to come, you shall die at the hands of Lord Shiva, a son of Lord Shiva. Now devotees, if you read into what Brahmaji said, right, Tarak, we all have to die. Tarak is thinking that if I have to die at the hands of a son of Lord Shiva. Brahma said, okay, it shall be so. So what does that imply? Lord Shiva is going to have a son. Because Tarak has to die. Ekadin hame bhi jana hai. So no matter what games we play, there's always a loophole. You're going to bounce your head. This is why scriptures tell us devotees, stay straight. Arjav. Arjav, straightness in mind, in senses, in behavior. This is what we call honesty. Right? No tricks, no games in the mind. The senses are under control, and behavior. How we behave, how we conduct ourselves, whether people look at us or not. Straight, right attitude, shield, straightforward behavior. All is put together as arjav. And if you don't do that, devotees, you're caught up, you're going to backfire. Bound to backfire. Devotees, Brahma said, Tarka, Sur, yeah. You shall, if you have to die at all, at the hand of a son of Lord Shiva. And Tarkasur very happy, because in his thinking, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die. Shiva is a yogi. You know, he has no children, he won't have no children. Now, this is sometimes what we think. We feel we have control over destiny, control over fate. Anybody has it? I have made this statement over and over. We are entitled to the actions, the outcome, not in our control. Not in our control. Do the right things, maintain the right principles, the outcome, the Lord decides. But you see the Asur, they have this kind of attitude. So devotees, Tarkasur now considers himself to be deathless. Shiva doesn't have a son. And so he began a reign of terror. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So devotees on all sides, he terrorized, even the devatas were being terrorized. And when they realized that the only solution is for Lord Shiva to have a son. But he only praying, he's in dhyan all the time, right? How you gonna have a son unless he gets married? Now, long time that is thing. You have to get married and have children, right? Now it's okay. You can have children before getting married. Yeah, people do anything. I wouldn't digress into all that. So devotees, the problem now, and I want you to bear in mind, every problem is made up of a series of smaller problems. You see in society today, problem solving is almost at zero. People do not know how to solve problems. And let me digress. One moment. I attribute this to certain, failures in life. Do you know at university level, the highest rate of failure is in mathematics and English? Check even all different levels of exams. You have some who excel, but the majority, very, very poor in mathematics. And of course, English. Now, our medium of communication is English. So what it tells us, there's lack of understanding, and when you see you can't do maths, you can't solve problems. Mathematics trains us to a great extent to solve problems. Sometimes a mathematician, what you see, simple solution. Others, I can't see make head or tail out of this. So devotees, they are serious problem. Very serious problem. So many people in life, how they solve problems? Take a gun and shoot. Take a cutlass and chop. You understand? That's how they solve problems. You compound problems, you don't solve problems. You see? So if you understand devotees, if you go back to your mathematics, we give you a problem, a whole essay type question, not multiple choice. Any, mini, miny, mo. Make a guess. Yeah? I had a class devotees, when you see is multiple choice, man, they're making plenty marks. Give them a question, a essay type question. Every man getting zoku, duck, 0. You can't guess. No guessing there. And I don't know why, I think they still have that exam, right? Paper 1, paper 2, right? Essay type questions. You have to read your question. Remember I said that? That is okay. To read and to understand the knowledge from it, good. But to take out the facts, separate fact from fiction is the Ganesh. And applying the facts, the Saraswati. And devotees, you have to put everything step by step. You have to reason. You have to reason. And this practice trains you in a certain way. So when people can't do mathematics, you know what happened? Yeah? I just thought I'll mention that. But if you realize, no, but so much writing, but that big problem is made up of a series of smaller problems. And if you solve the smaller problems, there is no big problem. All problems in life is like this. All, every one. So devotees, big problem, Tarakasur has to die at the hands of a son of Lord Shiva. Bigger problem, Shiva is not married. Even bigger problem, who will marry Shiva? And Shiva in meditation, he doesn't want to think, he's not thinking of getting married. So he sees a series of problems. How to solve this? So to solve the problem, they have to get Shiva interested in getting married. Shiva must be interested in getting married. So the first step is getting Shiva. To get out of that state of deep meditation, samadhi, and get him to readily agree to get married so that he could fulfill the desires of the devatas. Of course, it's very selfish, but it serves mankind. So devotees, all the devatas went to Bhagavan Shankar where he was doing tapasya. And they tried to get him out. They prayed to him. Shiva Shankar bhole bhale bhole भक्तों के रखवाले तुमको लाखों प्रणाम तुमको मेरा प्रणाम।
संसार बनाया, सभी तुम्हारी माया छाया। तुमने ये संसार बनाया, सभी तुम्हारी माया छाया। सर्पों के माला वाली, कैलाश पर्वत वाली, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा प्रणाम। तुम जल छल में, तुम अंबर में, तुम हो नगर नगर घर घर में। तुम जल छल में, तुम अंबर में, तुम हो नगर नगर घर घर में। तुम हो लहर लहर स्वर स्वर में, कहा नहीं तुम हो जग भर में। डमरू के बजाने वाली, दुष्टों को मिटाने वाली, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा प्रणाम। हर 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 महादेव का नारा, नर नारी घर घर का प्यारा। हर 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 महादेव का नारा, नर नारी घर घर का प्यारा। दीप तुम्हारा, तेल तुम्हारा, दुनिया का सब खेल तुम्हारा। एक खेल खेलने वाले, त्रिभुवन को नचाने वाले, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा प्रणाम। तुमको लाखों प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा प्रणाम, तुमको। So devotees, those Devtas prayed, but is it so easy to get Shiva out of meditation? Devotees, they intensified, but Shiva was not budging deep in Dhyan. They intensified trying to get him out of that state. Hey Hara Shiva Shankara Shashanka Shekhar, Hara Bam Bam Bolo. Hey Hara Shiva Shankara Shashanka Shekhar, Hara Bam Bam Bolo. हे भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर, दिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। हे भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर, दिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। हे हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर, हर बम 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 बोलो। ओ हर बम 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 बोलो, हर बम बम बोलो, हर बम बम बोलो, हर बम बम बोलो। भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर, दिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर, दिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। दिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो, दिमि 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 तक नरतन खेलो। they tried. Bhagwan Shankar, deep in meditation, oblivious, nirudhaman, mind withdrawn, nothing could distract him. The Devatas decided to employ a different strategy. They prayed, it didn't distract. Now what they wanted to do? Kamdev, the Lord of temptation. They said, you try to disrupt his meditation. Because, if that calm isn't in the mind, how will he get married? So you try to get him out of this state. And devotees, as the saying goes, Kamdev, with beautiful spring season, music, dancing girls, etc., etc. He tried to distract Bhagwan Shankar. And he released his arrow, so to speak. And the effort he made was sufficient to get Shivaji out of that state. And when he got out of that state of meditation, he was very, very angry, enraged. Who dare to disturb my meditation? Who dare to disturb my meditation? Devotees. And when Shiva dances, he dances. Dance of destruction also. Dama dama dam, dama dama dam 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 rubaje, dam rubaje, dam rubaje, dam rubaje. Hara bholnath Shiva dam rubaje, hara bholnath Shiva dam rubaje. Dama dam, dama dama dam dam, dama dama dam 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 rubaje, dam rubaje, dam rubaje, dam rubaje. Hara bholnath Shiva dam rubaje, hara bholnath Shiva dam rubaje. Hara 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 damru baje bolo, bolo Shiva 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 damru baje bolo, bolo Parvati Shankara damru baje bolo, bolo Dhamma 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 damru baje bolo, hey damru baje bolo. Hara bholnath Shiva damru baje, hara bholnath Shiva damru baje. Dama dama dam, dama dama dam dam, dama dama dam 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 damru baje, damru baje, damru baje, damru baje. Hara bholnath Shiva damru baje, hara bholnath Shiva damru baje. Hey damru baje bolo, oh damru baje bolo, ah damru baje bolo. Devotees, Shivaji enraged. And he dances, Tandav dance. And they said in this state, being disturbed, in state of anger as we say, the third eye opened and he burnt Kamdev to ashes. How dare you disturb my meditation? Kamdev was burnt to ashes. But the arrow was already released now. And they said they struck Shivaji, if you want to argue the point. Yeah. So devotees, the consort of Kamdev, who is Himasrati, all this has deeper meaning, but we just read the story. She prayed to Lord Shiva, oh Lord, my husband was just acting on behalf of all the devatas. He has lost his life and I have lost my husband. Please give him back his life. And so it is said that Bhagwan Shankar said that I will give him back his life, but he will be bodiless. No form. No form. Now this is Hinduism way of telling us, like calm temptation, etc., does it have a form? It hits you, bodiless, so to speak. And only after you're struck down by then you realize, but most times you don't realize, others realize that you've overpowered. Kuch kuch hota hai. Things happen. Yeah. So devotee is wonderful story, but those are digressions, we'll leave it there. The Devatas prayed to Bhagavan Shankar, calmed him down and said, "Oh Lord, Tarkasur has given us trouble. And there's only one way we can, overcome him. He had a bardan from Brahma that only a son of yours could destroy him. But Lord, you're not married. So we would like you, oh Lord, to manifest yourself, well, to get married, so to speak. Enter into Grihast ashram so that you can procreate, have a son who will destroy Tarkasur and save us from distress." So notice, it is Devata's own selfish agenda again here. Everybody had a selfish agenda. It's more for themselves now. Bhagavan Shankar understood. But the question of devotees is that, who could get married to Shiva? Who? Bhagavan Shankar already gave up Sati. And Sati, from metaphysically, represents the unenlightened intellect. Only the enlightened intellect could identify with Shiva. Not again, not otherwise. I remember somewhere when it was I mentioned Ganesh Baba, you have Lakshmi and Saraswati on two sides. They say, Ganesh Baba, get married to Lakshmi and Saraswati. So like Lord Vishnu went to court and he divorced Lakshmi Ma. So Ganesh Baba, you see when they talk in stupidness like that, you know what happens? When they're taking things superficially, you create problems. This is why you have to go to the metaphysical. Ganesh represents wisdom. Wisdom goes hand in hand. Lakshmi Ma, the power of wisdom. And Saraswati Ma, knowledge with application. This is what it represents. But in Hinduism, because people understand relationships, Ganesh marry Lakshmi, Ganesh marry Saraswati. It's not a marriage in the sense that we understand it to be. There's a relationship. There's a bond between wisdom, power of wisdom, and knowledge. Okay? So all this nonsense about getting married and so on, if you have a brain like mine, you talk stupidness too bad, So I'm convinced that, if you see Ganesh Baba marry Lakshmi, and Lakshmi Mata is supposed to be with Vishnu Bhagavan, I don't know what's going on nearby. So then everything in society good. Divorce this one, marry that one, divorce, and keep going so. No. Don't get it. Well, get the essence right. So devotees, the right person has to come. And who is the right person? Atma Tvam Girija Mati. Atma, Shiva, metaphysically. Girija Mati, the intellect, Girija. Sati already gone, the unenlightened state. So now it is for that Sati to undergo transformation, metaphysically, right? To become the enlightened intellect. All that burning, Sati burnt herself and so on, is what we refer to as the relative intellect. That transition period where the intellect changes from that state of unenlightenment, gravitating toward the state of enlightenment. I explained already, Daksh, ego. When there is ego, the intellect is unenlightened. When the intellect is unenlightened, we tell lies, we impersonate, we doubt, all the negative things that people do, all sides. This is why when I say the intellect is unenlightened, I'm not talking by guess. Most of us are not enlightened. Enlightened, great minds reflect upon principles, mediocre minds on events, and undeveloped minds on people. So devotees, to identify with Shiva, the intellect has to undergo transformation to the state of enlightenment. And that is what we call Parvati. Parvati. So who could get married to Shiva? Parvati, Devi. So now devotees, Bhagavan Shankar said, Uni Shakti, Devi. But Devi wasn't manifest yet. You see how long this thing taken, man? Right? Shiva, the Devatas want him to get married. They pray. So one part of the problem solved. Shiva said, okay, I'll get married. But you have to get a good dulahin. You can't marry anybody. All understand? Marry anybody, go ahead. Yeah. I ain't telling you, So devotees,
You have to get the right person, right compatibility, right background and everything else. Otherwise, doomed for failure. So Bhagavan Shankar said, Shakti, Devi. See, devotees, the devatas now, they have to turn towards Mata, that infinite energy. Now remember that Shiva, philosophically speaking, the substratum, Devi is energy. Energy emanates out of that substratum. The picture of Shiva lying on the ground and Kali standing on him, that substratum is there, but the energy is projected. The energy has to manifest itself. But in a sense, they're not different. Like the ocean and its waves, fire and its burning power. But the story tells us, now the devatas have to appeal to Mata. Ma, Shiva is willing to get married. I think he'll only get married to you. Therefore, you have to manifest yourself, because at this point you're unmanifest. So devotees, the devatas, in second part of the problem now, to get Devi to come, to manifest itself. They prayed. We pray in a simple way now. माँ तेरी ममता कितनी प्यारी, कितना प्यार जगाती है, कितना प्यार जगाती है। माँ तेरी ममता कितनी प्यारी, कितना प्यार जगाती है, कितना प्यार जगाती है। श्वास श्वास की रक्षा करती, श्वास श्वास की रक्षा करती, पग पग प्राण बचाती है, कितना प्यार जगाती है। माँ तेरी ममता कितनी प्यारी, कितना प्यार जगाती है, कितना प्यार जगाती है। तू ऋषियों की रिद्धि सिद्धि, तू ब्रह्मा की भक्ति माँ, तू विष्णु की माया देवी, तू शंकर की शक्ति माँ, तू ऋषियों की रिद्धि सिद्धि, तू ब्रह्मा की भक्ति माँ, तू विष्णु की माया देवी, तू शंकर की शक्ति माँ, तू माँ तू से भाग जगा दे, भागी भागी आती है, कितना प्यार जगाती है। माँ तेरी ममता कितनी प्यारी, कितना प्यार जगाती है, कितना प्यार जगाती है। तू काली महाकाली दुर्गा, तू ही बल भवानी है, तू पुराण का तार शारदा, तू वेदों की बानी है, तू काली महाकाली दुर्गा, तू ही बल भवानी है, तू पुराण का तार शारदा, तू वेदों की बानी है, तू बालक को गोद में लेकर जीवन गीत सुनाती है, कितना प्यार जगाती है। माँ तेरी ममता कितनी प्यारी, कितना प्यार जगाती है, कितना प्यार जगाती है, कितना प्यार जगाती
they pray to Devi. Now it is instructive to know that Shiva is here, the substratum, but what could happen without Shakti? Shiva, Sha-Iva. Take the E out of Shiva, you get Shav. What is the meaning of Shav? Corpse. Corpse. Without Shakti, Shiva is like a corpse. Meaning what? This is non-differentiation. It is the energy that makes things happen. And devotees, when we do Navratam, Brat and so on, we keep telling you, to go to Shiva, you have to go through Shakti, the world of objects. This is why Devi is important to worship. So the Devatas had to go to Mata. And Mata is very compassionate. Devotees, Devatas prayed, and they got a response. In simple terms, I'm putting it to you. We don't have much time to do all the details. And devotees, Devi, she said, "O Devatas, whatever is in your heart, I will fulfill that. I'll grant it to you. I'll manifest myself." But how? She has to manifest into a form. I'll manifest myself as the daughter of Himalaya. Himalaya. Now most people will hear Himalaya, what is that? That's the Himalayan mountain. There's divine energy in everything. So what that Shakti is saying, I'll become the daughter of the mountain Himalaya. When Himalaya heard that, he was agitated, not to mention ecstatic for one reason, but a bit fearful. The mother of all creation, I will become her father? How could that be? How could that be? Now all these devotees is very, very relevant and practical to every one of us. You have to apply it. So just to put it up here, Himalaya represents the mountain of mental advancement. Yoga. Yoga. So Parvati will become the daughter of Himalaya. Parvati symbolizes the enlightened intellect. That enlightened intellect could only come with the presence of yoga, mental advancement, not daksh, not ego. Unless you develop mentally, high level, yogic, that intellect is still unenlightened. All is to do with us. To do with us. So devotees, Himalaya, that mountain of mental advancement that we say, applied. How am I to prepare myself to welcome you, O Mother? How am I to prepare myself? And devotees, without elaboration, I just put to you from Devi Gita, taken from Srimad Devi Bhagavad, one or two slokas, where Mata told Himalaya and all the devatas, directly, indirectly to all of us, to lift ourselves to that state of enlightened intellect, so that Shiv Shakti could become born. We can overcome Tarkasu, which I'll briefly explain. This is the journey. This is the journey. So devotees, Himalaya, he said, Yogam vada maheshani, sangam samvit pradayakam, krite nayena yog yoham bhaveyam tattva darshane. Please instruct me, O Mother. Himalaya is saying, please instruct me in the practice of yoga. Now look, some people say yoga. So understand I'm using the word yoga. O great Supreme Goddess, along with all its limbs, and bestow upon me the fullest knowledge by means of which I can attain union and realization with the universal principle. Who is that universal principle? Shakti herself. So he wants to know how to go about this. What should I do? And it's for all of us. No? And I like to say these things because many of us may think you do a little puja, a little bit, little kirtan, whatever, and you're okay. I keep saying it is more than that. It is more than that. All right? So Devi Uvach, Mata said, Na yogo na basaha prishthi, na bhubhav, na bhumo, na rasatali, ekyang jivat manoha rahur, yogang yoga visharada. O Himalaya, neither does yoga exist in the sky, yoga. Neither does it exist in the sky, nor behind, nor below, nor even in the nether regions, patal. Those conversant with yoga, they know yoga to be what? What is yoga? The complete unity of the individual soul with the universal principle. That is yoga, union with the divine. So when people do bear yoga and dog yoga and all kinds of stupid yoke. They're only fooling themselves. But that is not my problem. You're free to fool yourself. Yoke, true yoke, the objective is to identify the individual soul, each of us, with that super soul. That is yoke, union with Aham Brahm Asmi. So she's saying, Tat pratyuhaha chadakyata yoga vigna kara nagha kama krodhau lobha mohau mad masarja sangyakau. Many of you have heard me quote this many times. Many times. This is where it comes from. Devi Ma is saying, there are 6 enemies which cause obstacles in the path of union, yoga. 6 enemies. What are they? Kama krodhau lobha mohau mad matsarya sangyakau. Desire. Now we touch upon all this already. What prevents yoga, that true union with the Lord? Desire. Want to know anything. Anger, greed, ignorance, conceit, and jealousy. These 6 enemies. When these are in the mind, what kind of yoga you doing? There's yoga, there's bhog, and there's rog. So when you see these exist in the mind, it's more bhog and rog. It's not yoga. So devotees, many people say they do yoga, but they're craving this, craving that, craving the next. Angry day and night, etc. What yoga you doing, man? So pay attention, these are Devi's words. So she's saying, Yogangai reva bhitvatan, yogino yoga mapnu yuhu, yamam niyam asanam, prana yanau tatah param, pratyaharam dharanakyam, dhyanam sarva sabadhina, ashtanganya hav retani, yogina yoga sadhini. 8 limbs of yoga. Now whether we do yoga, like Raj Yoga or in Bhakti, the same principles, basic preparation. Listen carefully, devotees. Listen carefully. These little points will tell us why we can't reach anywhere spiritually. The first one is yam. She said, destroying these enemies by the limbs of yoga. That is kam, krodh, mad, matsarya. How you destroy that? How do you destroy these enemies? How? What you have to do? You have to control your life by organizing and defining goals and priorities. You can't say you're doing yoga and devotees is bhog. Right? So either you go in your bhog and self-destruct, or do you yoga and become free. And last night we explained in satsang, once you surrender to that Lord, He takes care of everything you need. You have to go craving and begging all over and compromising. Yoga chemam vahamyaham, He said. But yoga is the important part of it. So what He's saying, you have yam, niyam, again I've said this over and over. Yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. Ashtang yoga, 8 limbs of yoga. Now devotees, when we do puja and so on, a lot of these practices are involved. Now, yam and niyam, I want to just start there and I will end there for the morning. All right? Yam and niyam. Right? These 8 limbs of yoga, you maintain them, discipline practice, you are closer to that state of yoga. And what are these? What are the yam? Self-restraint. And listen, devotees, listen carefully. I mean, I'm telling you, problem solving, why we do not achieve the way we are supposed to. Why? Because we are lacking. What are these limbs of yoga? Yam, ahimsa satyamasteyam, brahmacharyam dayarjavam, chama dhriti mitaharaha, shaucham cheti yamadasha. So I'm going to do the first and second, yam and niyam. That's your starting point. If you can't master this, you go nowhere. You go nowhere. There's no yoga. There's only bhog and rog. So what it is, devotees? Ahimsa. We all heard that. Non-aggression. Satyam, truth. And we have explained all this. If I were to explain all that, it will take me till next week. But we have done all this time and again. Think about it carefully. Ahimsa, satyam, truth. Right? Asteyam, non-covetousness. You're craving, I want this and I want that. That means there's contentment. Non-covetousness. Brahmacharya, maintenance of celibacy. Now people who are married, there are certain practices you can carry out, which amounts to celibacy. Those who are not married, celibacy. You maintain that continence in mind, word, and deed. Right? You don't sit down and think about all them things. Sometimes devotees, you may not get involved in the activity, but the senses are such, they remain enjoying, even though it's not physical. So you sit down to pray, and your mind still where. Can't explain in too much detail. Brahmacharya, celibacy, continence. Daya, compassion. Arjav, I explained that earlier. Straightness in senses, straightness in speech, no scheme, no game, straightness in behavior. I can't say straightness in body, because sometimes all of us, we have a little bend here and there. Chama, forbearance. Dhriti, constancy, firmness. You're firm in what you're doing. Firm in what you're doing. You believe in what you're doing this, you're a waver. Constancy. Mitaharaha, control of diet. All these things we have discussed. Saucha, cleanliness both internal and external. These are the 10 aspects of yam. Self-restraint. I'm asking you, ask yourselves, do you maintain these? If not, where are you going? Which yoga you're doing? And our devotees, that is self-restraint. We now go on to positive virtues. Tapaha santosh astikyam danam devasya pujanam siddhanta sarvanam chaiva hrir matisya japohutam. Tap, austerities. And I did mention to you, I don't know if you could remember, Bhagavan Sri Krishna Uddhava Gita said, what is tapasya? Not stand up in your head and tie yourself in knots because I want this and I want that. Tapasya is the giving up of desires. Tap, true austerity is the giving up of desires. Anybody doing tapasya? People do tapasya to get your desires fulfilled. That's not tapasya. If you want the world, you get the world. Pravritti marg. Nivritti marg, yoga. You have to give up desires. Santosh, contentment. Santosh nandanam banam. Bhagavan Krishna sports. Santosh nandan ban. Contentment. Astikyam. What is astikyam? The continuous pursuit of self-realization. Self-realization. Very few people, if anybody at all, I'm being judgmental here, really pursue self-realization. We all know you pray because you want this and you want that. All of us. Sakam, not self-realization. This is a positive virtue. So we are talking about the establishment of yoga, and that will bring about the manifestation of Parvati, where the mountain of mental advancement, the enlightened intellect. So many may think that you have the enlightened intellect. Tell me, after all this, if you have it. Now, they're not putting you down, they're showing you the pathway. Right? So, devotees, danam, charity. Charity. And again, I go back to Bhagavan Krishna, what he said. The highest charity is the relinquishing of the idea of violence towards others. The relinquishing of the idea of violence towards others. You have plenty charity. You give a hamper, you give somebody $5, you give them, I think these days you give $5, isn't it? Yeah, they ain't taking 25 cents again. That's cheap. But you know what? There's an expectation out of such charity. Charity, sat, ras, and tam. 3 types of dan. Sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic prakriti. This is why I've been telling devotees, read Gita. Chapter 18 tells you all this. So you think you're doing dan, but what type of dan are you doing? Sat, raj, or tam. You have to decide. Devotees, devasya pujanam, worship of God. But worshipping God for what purpose? Nishkam or sakam? With desire, without desire. Common sense will say, nishkam. Just worship. Worship the Lord. Siddhanta Sravanam, listening to scriptures. Now, I don't talk by guests and devotees. I've told you all, listening is tapasya, in the sense that it frees us from bondage. And listening is not sitting down here and your mind waver all about, and when the Baba ball, you come back and wave ball and so forth. Then you listen only conveniently. Not that. Not that at all. Listen continuously. Listening. put in the mind. Savan, Manan, Kirtanam. Savan and Manan, important to do that. Siddhanta Saranam. Hrir, was Hrir devotees? Hrir, modesty. Modesty. We must have a sense of shame. Not do that which is improper. Whether people are looking at us or not. A sense of shame. Mati, study, devotion and prayer. You know, your positive attitude, no negativities, purity. Jap, recitation of mantras, and even that in itself is how you do it. That's the whole yoga by itself. Home, huta, havan, doing havan. People should be doing havan. This is why we tell you doing havan. You see these devotees, these 10 forms of positive virtues, 10 forms of self-restraint, start with the self-restraint. If you cannot develop these or you don't develop these, where are you going in devotion, in yoga? Where are you going? And what I'll tell you, devotees, if these qualities don't exist, the positive virtues, if the forms of self-restraint don't exist, and Kundalini is awakened, you know what happened to you? You become a liability. All your negativities are amplified. All. This is one of the reasons why we are told to fast, to pray. We try to get rid of the negativities of the mind, imperfections. So if Kundalini has to rise, she is not amplifying negativity, she is amplifying positive virtues. Now, devotees, if people could understand all this thing, to honestly believe me, a lot of nonsense is going to cut out. But you're on your own, Many of us are impressionists. We create this impression, great devotee. And your actions tell differently. Now, this is why I keep saying you're on your own. Now, devotees, these, Devi Ma said, for me, Himalaya, you start from this point. And devotees, you go on to asana, right? Asana, posture. Now, most of us devotees, I don't want to go into that because it will be like, we have been attacked. How we sit, the posture, right? This is the physical part of yoga, Hatha yoga, the asana, how you sit, and devotee, there are five asana. Padmasana, swastik, padmasanam swastikam cha, bhadram brajasanam tatha, virasana iti proktam, kramadasana panchakam. These 5 asana. Padma asana, lotus posture. Who could do that? We can't even sit on this normal, so I and all two can't sit on to do Padma asana. Swastik asana. Now I can't show you here now. And in any case, if I go anywhere, I still can't show you because of my knee bad. Bhadram, right? Bhadra asana. Bhadra asana, Vajra asana, and Veera asana. These 5 postures, if you master them, you're very well on the journey. What we do, we sit in what we call Sukha asana. Sukh means happy. Happy? Everybody in pain. Very happiness is. Eh? Now I just want to point out to you how important asana is. Posture. And you keep that spine erect and whatever else. You have your forms of self-discipline, positive virtues, the asana, the posture. And devotees, some people say, once I have love in my heart, I tell all you, don't tell me about no love in your heart. Nobody knows what love is. That's a cop-out. You have to discipline yourself first. Yeah? Now, if you can't do these asanas, you find a proper way to sit. Because if you can't sit properly, you can't maintain that positive posture, how are you going to go deeper? Because the next step is pranayama. Breathing. Breath is life. Breath is life. And devotees, different types of pranayama. But most of us, we do breathe properly. And in today's world, many people suffering with breathing problems. All you know that? Breathing problems. And you have dust and whatever else, smoke. Some people say the smoke. Especially when you do havan, they see the smoke is some of them. Yeah. And smoking ganja and things, smoke some of them. Yeah. Havan smoke does some of them. Anyway, devotees, pranayam, how you breathe. Breath is life. And many people want to do meditation. Now, after pranayam, there are certain types of pranayam being given. And then there's pratyahar, withdrawal of the senses. When you can control your breath, you bring the mind under control. When the mind is under control, the senses are under control. You can pull in the senses. Pratyahar. Then dharana, concentration. So many people go and they make you focus on a point, a light, focus on that light and say, do meditation. That's not meditation. That's dharana. That's concentration. That's not meditation. Dharana, you try to get the mind to focus upon one-pointed concentration. Fix your mind. So you discipline the mind. That is a state that is necessary before you could go to what they call dhyan, meditation. Then you go to meditation. And when you master meditation, you go into what they call samadhi, total absorption. Atma, Paramatma. Ashtanga Yoga is a journey. So devotees, I'm just putting it to all of us, those who want to go on the pathway, you're on your own. You decide what you want to do. And this is Parvati Mase. That is to, make the, if you prepare yourself at this, oh Himalaya, I'll be born as your daughter. In other words, when I develop to this kind of level, this discipline, then the intellect becomes Parvati, enlightened, not otherwise. Not otherwise. And it's very evident, very evident. Very few people, very, very few, up to this point here yet. Sometimes we may hit it, but you go back down. Middle and low one. So back to the unenlightened intellect. But devotees, constant practice. So I'm saying this to all of us. Now, why is so important? Because only Parvati could marry Shiva. So Parvati, devotees, when we say Shakti, Himalaya prepared himself. Shakti took form in form of Parvati, to wrap it up very quickly. And Parvati devotee, from very small, she was influenced by Narad Muni to pray to Shiva. Because he knew that she was the one to marry Shiva. Shiva could only marry Parvati, not Sati. He discarded Sati already. So devotees, that state could only come about, with Shiva, the unchangeable, with the enlightened intellect, Parvati. And so devotees, I think last year we talked about the marriage and so on, how exciting and interesting it was and whatever else. Lord Shiva got married to Parvati. Right? Now, just to show you a little bit, when Parvati was worshipping, the 7 rishis, Saptarishi was sent to her. They tried to, destabilize her. Even Shiva himself went in a form to test Parvati. You cannot say you are in that state of enlightened intellect without being tested. So simply put, they said, oh Parvati, you want to marry that madman? Now this is how they put it. They will come praising Shiva. He's a madman. He's naked. Doesn't wear clothes. Parvati said, oh, holy ones, that nakedness, Digambar, it represents his clothing being ether itself. All vast, expansive, without end. In other words, the nakedness she saw as being what? His clothing, that incorporates the entire creation within himself. Oh Parvati, he wears snakes, impious creatures. No. Oh, holy ones, that represents psychic powers. The snake. Parvati, devotees, whatever they come up with, as I explained to you the symbolism, Parvati Ma gave those answers. That is how she saw Shiva. Not that he went snake, is Satan, is the devil, whatever. No. She saw everything at a principle level. And this is what you call the enlightened intellect. You understand at a higher level. Great minds reflect upon principles, mediocre minds on events, and undeveloped minds on people. Okay, devotees? So here we go. We see everybody on their own. Parvati, devotees, finally, she got married. And when her mother Meena saw Shiva, she said, oh Parvati, this is the madman you want to get married to? And I'm sure many people are aware of that. It happens in society up to today. The girl like a boy and, me I like the boy. Mother like the boy. She said, Parvati, I'll jump from the balcony, I'll jump from here and kill you and kill myself. I'm not going to marry you to that madman. Normal, nice, interesting katha. This kind of katha will make everybody wake up. When the only philosophy I was like built-in plants. I go tell you why. I see mine again. Devotees, marriage took place. Wonderful. And to complete our katha, in due course, Swami Kartikai was born. Swami Kartikai was born. Now I don't want to confuse all you, but remember, Parvati Ma created Ganesh. Parvati Ma created Ganesh. Parvati, not Sati, Parvati. Now devotees, I've told you before, when Lord Shiva, Parvati got married, they did Ganesh Puja by. So where was Ganesh? How they could do Ganesh Puja? Ganesh is a principle that is eternal, not the story where he was created. This is why you have to go to the different level of understanding the philosophy. Yeah? But devotees, Swami Kartikai was born. And Swami Kartikai, there's the whole story behind him. He was the one to destroy Tarkasur. So Tarkasur believed that nothing could happen. I live forever because Shiva getting married. Shiva got married. Shiva had a son, much to the horror of Tarkasur. And Swami Kartikai destroyed Tarkasur. Devotees, the vocal data became fulfilled. Tarkasur, devotees, what does he represent? What? Philosophy again. The illuminator of duality. Now these are technical terms. Duality. Advait Vedant from this point. Advait, non-duality. Not I and you and we and them. Plurality and multiplicity. No. But you see, that is illuminated. Though that attitude of seeing two and many more is Tarkasur. Is the illuminator of duality. When you see we reach to this point, Shiv Shakti come together. The marriage takes place inside a here. Ardhana Ishwar. Then what happens? Tarkasur is born. And at that point, Swami Kartikai is born. And Tarkasur, he gone through. That negative tendency is destroyed. That demonic, asuric quality is destroyed. Then aham, everything you see as one. That is the yoga we're talking about. Atma, Paramatma. Atma, Paramatma. That's the highest journey. So devotees, I try to give you the story simply, and I try to put to you the philosophical part of it, which is where the application really is. If I can't apply it, what's the purpose of the story? So this again is what I'm saying. Everybody is on your own journey. Analyze where you are. Is Himalaya prepared in each of us? Is Parvati born yet? That part is the journey. Smaller part of the problem. Going along, when time they get married, problems still come. The mother says, no, I can't marry to a madman. You have problem there again. You are married yet? You ain't getting married yet? You go through the whole process, a series of smaller and smaller problems, until ultimately the solution comes. Parvati is married to Shiva. That has to take place inside. Swami Kartikai, he destroys the illuminator of duality, Tarkasur. Now that's a hard thing, It's a hard thing. You could talk it, whatever, but devotees is a case of experiencing it. It's an inward journey. So all these things we talk about, for those who can't go to that level, the story nice. Those who go to a higher level, cosmological laws, and those who want to really reach to the point of view, I put it to you, the way you need to do. You're on your own. Everybody. Bole Shri Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. So devotees, it's a very lengthy katha. I tried to put it short. It was still long. But next week there is no service and we go straight into Shivratri. So for Shivratri, I may do Shiva kathas. But as I go through all this, I just want everybody to understand. I really would like to see people on this journey. It's a beautiful journey, devotees, believe me. Beautiful journey. This journey of yoga. You have to go to a yoga class for that. If you want to do that, that's quite okay. It helps you with the asana and so on. But notice this part of it. The attitude, the internal preparation. Trying to get that state of non-duality. Okay? So devotees, you prepare yourself to make preparation for the final Havan. Danny? Oh, Annie, you'll fix up? Danny, Annie, same thing. All right. So devotees, while the preparation being made for the final Havan, let's do a final kirtan and we conclude. We glorify Bhagwan Shankar, no? मेरे बम भोले रे, मेरे बम भोले रे, हाँ मेरे बम भोले रे। मेरे बम भोले रे, मेरे बम भोले रे, हाँ मेरे बम भोले रे। काशी जी के विश्वनाथ नाथों के नाथ, काशी जी के विश्वनाथ नाथों के नाथ, मेरे बम भोले रे। हाँ मेरे बम भोले रे। मेरे बम भोले रे, हाँ मेरे बम भोले रे। कोई चढ़ावे पान फूल, कोई चढ़ावे माला, कोई चढ़ावे पान फूल, कोई चढ़ावे माला। कोई मांग रहा है गोदी में के बाला, मेरे बम भोले रे, हाँ मेरे बम भोले रे, ओ मेरे बम भोले रे। अंधन को आंख देता, कोढ़ीन को काया, अंधन को आंख देता, कोढ़ीन को काया। बाजन को पुत्र देता, निर्धन को माया, मेरे बम भोले रे, हाँ मेरे बम भोले रे। मेरे बम भोले रे, हाँ मेरे बम भोले रे। पंचाक्षर मंत्र devotees as we conclude. Chant it, very, very powerful. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om 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 Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Shiva, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Bole Shri Umaपति Mahadev ki jai. And as 5 more times I will tell you Vivek. So a little bit each time. 5 more times you'll for all. Om Ganganapate Namah Swaha. Gauri Mata Swaha. Prithvi Mata Swaha. पंचलोकपाल देवाय स्वाहा, ओम नमो नारायणाय स्वाहा, ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा, नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा, सूर्यारि नवग्रह देवाय स्वाहा, ब्रह्मग्नये नमः स्वाहा, ओम ह्रीं श्रीं चंडिकायै नमः स्वाहा, ओम क्रीं कालियै नमः स्वाहा, महालक्ष्मी माताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, श्रीं ह्रीं सरस्वत्यै स्वाहा, ईश्वरी देवी स्वाहा, परमेश्वरी देवी स्वाहा, शीतला देवी स्वाहा, महाअन्नपूर्णा देवी स्वाहा, मंगला देवी स्वाहा, चंदी देवी स्वाहा, मनसा देवी स्वाहा, ओम ह्रीं षष्ठी देव्यै स्वाहा, ओम श्री तारा देवी स्वाहा, ओम श्री षोडशी देवी स्वाहा, भुवनेश्वरी देवी स्वाहा, छिन्नमस्ता देवी स्वाहा, भैरवी देवी स्वाहा, धूमावती देवी स्वाहा, बगलामुखी देवी स्वाहा, मातंगी देवी स्वाहा, कमला देवी स्वाहा, हेमावती देवी स्वाहा, सिद्धेश्वरी देवी स्वाहा, कल्याणी देवी स्वाहा, कात्यायनी देवी स्वाहा, ऐन्द्री देवी स्वाहा, अग्निरूपा देवी स्वाहा, वाराही देवी स्वाहा, खड्गधारिणी देवी स्वाहा, मृगवाहिनी देवी स्वाहा, वारुणी देवी स्वाहा, कौमारी देवी स्वाहा, शूलधारिणी देवी स्वाहा, ब्रह्माणी देवी स्वाहा, वैष्णवी देवी स्वाहा, श्री गायत्री देवी स्वाहा, सावित्री देवी स्वाहा, श्री तुलसी देवी स्वाहा, स्वाहा देवी स्वाहा, सर्वदेवीभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, ओम श्री हनुमते नमः स्वाहा, सीतारामचंद्राभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, राधा कृष्णाय नमः स्वाहा, इष्टदेवाय स्वाहा, कुलदेवाय स्वाहा, अष्टान देवाय स्वाहा, ग्राम देवाय स्वाहा, वास्तुदेवाय स्वाहा. 5 times again. वास्तुदेवाय स्वाहा, 33 करोड़ देवताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, सर्वदेवता सर्वदेवीभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, अनंत स्वरूपाय ब्रह्मणे नमः स्वाहा, ओम श्री गुरुवे नमः स्वाहा. Wash your hands. Please all stand, devotees. We concentrate on Bhagavan Shankar. Om Namah Shivaya. Pick up the leaf, the one that we wrap up. Concentrate on Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shambhavaya cha Mayubhavaya cha Namah Sankaraya cha Mayaskaraya cha Shivaya cha Shivtaraya cha Om Namah Shivaya. Om Purnamidah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. Offer it into the fire. Offer water 3 times around. Om Sarva Papaharang Dibyam Gangeyang Nirmalam Jalam Achmanang Chamayadatam Grihitam Purushottamaha Brahmagnayi Namaha. Bow to the fire. बोले श्री उमापति महादेव की जय. आरती.
छन में दूरत
devotees, we join together with the chorus. Shiva Hare Shiva Rama Sakhi Prabhu Tribidha Tap Nivaran He Vibhu Aja Janeshwara Yadav Pahimam Shiva Hare Vijayam Kuru Me Varam Shiva Hare Vijayam Kuru Me Varam Pratidinam Kushalam Jai Mangalam Pratidinam Kushalam Jai Mangalam Bhagwan Vishnu Mangalam Garudhvaja Mangalam Pundarikaksha Mangalayatanu Hari Om Avahanam Najanami Visarjanam Pujang Chaiva Najanami Chammitang Parmeshwaram Om Gachha Gachura Sreshta Swasthani Parmeshwara Yata Brahmadayo Devas Chatra Gachutasanam Om Labhasteshang Jayasteshang Kutasteshang Parajaya Yesham Indi Varsham Hridayastu Janardanam Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukbhag Bhavet Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Sadashiv Yat Pujitam Maya Deva Paripurnam Tadastu Me Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Gachatvam Bhagwan Agni Swasthani Kundam Madhyatha Hutam Adaya Devevya Shigradihi Prasidami Brahmagnaye Namaha Om Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Shanti 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 Hari Om गर्व से कहो गर्व से कहो गर्व से कहो बोले शिव उमापति महादेव की जगदम्बा माता की जय सत्य सनातन धर्म की बोले श्री स्वाहा माता की शुभमस्तु blessings to all kindly be seated devotees
Sitaram, thank you for joining again with us this morning. Just a couple reminders. Firstly, there will be no Sunday service on the 8th February, that is next week. The following week, all devotees are invited to join our Mahashivratri 3-night yagya that will take place from Friday 13th February through Sunday 15th February. On Sunday morning, 15th February, a special Shivratri jap will be held at the temple beginning at 9 a.m. Devotees are reminded that those interested in sitting to perform puja with their families are to give their names to Auntie Rhoda or Auntie Annie. Also, Gyan Deepak will be having a veggie queue on Friday, May 1st. Tickets are available at a cost of $40. You can find out from Lisa or Auntie Kunti if you are interested in purchasing. Please remember, all proceeds go towards maintenance of the temple. Any assistance in making this veg queue a success, whether in donations, monetary or otherwise, are welcome. Those wishing to sit for Hawan on a Sunday morning or for any other temple events throughout the year are kindly requested to contact any member of the executive in advance. Prasad can be collected as you exit the temple. Wishing you a safe journey back home. Sitaram.
I thank you, Praveen, and this morning, devotees, we say blessings to Alicia and Vivek. Yesterday was Vivek's birthday, Thursday. So belated happy birthday and many more. And Alicia, nice that you're sitting together with him, let him that support. And it's good to see you after so long. I think last time I saw was last year for your birthday. Okay, so we hope to see you again soon. Right? Blessings and many more birthdays, and you'll convey our wishes to Mummy and the other boys. Just tell them Guru was asking for them. Okay? Blessings. Devotees, so I have an invitation for you. So I told you, when you heard next week Sunday is no service. So I tried to put 2 services in one this morning. I'd like to finish 10 or 10:15, so I said we'll go till 10:30. Right? Now this is an invitation from the Ramlagan family. Shan, you all know her. Right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The Ramlagan family from Kuva warmly invite you and your family to join in observing the auspicious Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran Yagya. All right. So let me go through all that. This Yag devotee starts on Thursday. All right. Thursday evening, we have one session. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, next week, there are 2 sessions each day. So the morning session will be from 9 to about 11, and night session, so there is no afternoon session. So we can come morning, go home, take a rest, come back in the night. Rather than come in the afternoon and sleep in the Yag, which is, all of us feel sleepy after lunch. Yeah? So 7 sessions in all. Thursday evening we start, first session, Friday mornings, Friday evening, Saturday and Sunday. The Yag concludes Sunday evening. So we invite you to join, and this Yag is taking place at the Shiv Temple, 35A Polo Ground Road, Pusal. This is in Pusal, Central. I'm sure you can find the temple. So, like Sunday morning, you are accustomed coming here, join us here. All right? And other sessions also join us. And as you have heard, devotees, the Shiv Yag going to take place. So, of course, on the 15th Shivratri morning, there is no service. We'll be doing job. You're here in the temple, but I told you we're not going to do it inside of here. We're going to do it to the back. Right? Everybody should receive your list by now. Right? Of what you have to need, what you need to get. And we would want you to come for around 8 o'clock. Right? That's Sunday morning. We'll give you more details as we go along. But you come from 8 o'clock so we can set up on social, we can start 9 o'clock. Remember, we are doing 1,000 names of Shiva. Jap. Okay, very, very powerful sacrifice which we haven't done for a while. I think we need to do it. So even if you're not sitting on Srota, you're still invited to come and become part of it. We invite everybody to join us. Okay? So devotee, let me apologize for this morning also. I got carried away myself. Right? Sorry about it, you know. Sometimes I tend to forget where I am. I'm getting kind of old now. Right? So I hope you don't mind, but a few minutes extra spent here is well spent, I believe. Maybe I'm saving you from something, or we are saving ourselves from something. Don't worry, don't get vexed something. Right? Let's see you all as service continues. Blessings to you all. Stand up, Vivek, Alicia. If your bongs Alicia wants some too, we'll call ambulance, boy. Yeah. Right. Sakalpan, Sitaram, tell everybody. Yes, Sitaram. Blessings, devotees. We look forward to seeing you at the Yag and Shivratri. Blessings.